Yeah.
The text animation capabilities in After Effects are second to none. They're extremely powerful. In this movie, I'm going to give you a brief glance into how to get started with text animation. I have some text here, the Matt Bovard text, and I want to adjust it and add some animation. Right now, as I drag my CTI, you'll see that there's no animation for this text. So here's how we create text animation. And if this is a little bit too complex for you, that's totally understandable, but stick with me because I'm going to show you some automated ways to do this a little bit later towards the end of the movie. Now, so I'm going to open up here in my timeline panel, open up the layer, and we see text here. And this may be closed up like this, that's fine. I'm going to come over to the right where it says animate, and there's a little circle with a triangle on it. So I'm going to click that, and first we need to select a property to animate. In this case, I'm going to select scale. Once we do that, an object called an animator is created. Now within this animator, there are two key objects. The first is the scale property, which we added. The second is a range selector, which determines which of these characters are affected by the scale adjustment. By default, as we increase scale, all characters get larger. I'm actually going to zoom in here using the wheel on my mouse so I could get up a little more close to this text. That's better. So again, you see that the scale adjustment applies to all the characters. If we open up the range selector, we see that the range starts at 0 and ends at 100%. So all these characters are getting adjusted. But if we adjust the start percentage, then not all characters will be adjusted. Likewise, we could adjust the end value to change what happens on the right-hand side of our text. Or, with the range selector selected, we could manually grab and adjust these vertical bars to adjust the range selection. Now let's say we only have a couple characters that are getting the adjustment here, these two-letter T's. One of the things that we can do is adjust the offset value. The offset value basically just takes the amount of the range and shifts it around. So basically we had a range that was maybe 2 or 3 characters wide, and as we cycle through our characters, you can see the result it has on the text. Now at this point, we can go to the Add Flyout menu. Now notice that we have this original Animate menu, which is what we use to create this initial scale animator. And then we also have Add. The difference between the two is that if we select a property or even another selector, it's going to add it to the current animator. So you can see from this Add menu under Property, all these different properties we can animate. So if we wanted these characters to rotate a little bit while they're scaling up, we could add a rotation property to this same animator and range selector. If we were to select that same rotation property from the Animate flyout, we would create an entirely new animator with its own range selector. See, it can get quite complicated. But again, like I promised, there's an easier way to do this. I'm going to select this animator and I'm going to hit delete to remove it. So now our text, as we scrub it, is just plain old text. I'm going to select this text layer and I'm going to go over to the Effects and Presets panel. Let me close out the hue search here. And I'm going to go to the flyout menu of the Effects and Presets panel. From here, I'm going to select Browse Presets. This will open Adobe Bridge into the presets folder that ships with After Effects. From this directory, let's open up the folder called Text. This opens up all of the text presets, or at least the text preset categories that ship with After Effects. So if we wanted our text to animate in, we could open up the Animate In folder and see all the different presets. Click once on it to preview it in Bridge. Looks pretty snazzy. Very cool. Now I'm going to go back using this left arrow key at the upper left-hand corner of the Bridge interface. I'm actually going to open up Organic. I'm looking for one called Ocean Tide. We're doing a piece on surfing, might as well use a preset called Ocean Tide. Now to apply it, all we have to do is make sure that in After Effects our layer was selected, which our text layer was, and just double click to apply it. Now when we go back to After Effects, I hit the space bar, and look at that. The preset is automatically applied to our text. Now we've obviously only scratched the surface here when it comes to text animation in After Effects. It would take many hours to show you what After Effects text animation is really capable of. But for now, feel free to play with more animators and range selectors and properties, and also the presets that ship with After Effects as well.
Yeah.